Hey guys, well today in this vid we're sharing about, hey uncle, there's a chicken out there. It's distracting. This video we're continuing the learning process of this political journey, as well as learning about the deep structural violence due to colonial capitalism, environmental capitalism, cohorts of monopolies, so on and so forth. And get that gist. And the problem is, if we don't understand this language, we don't understand that what water we're swimming in, is we're going to continue this trauma, passing it down to the next generation, to our kids, to our kids' kids, without us knowing. Maui is one of the only places where we inject our sewage, our processed sewage, back into the land. So it's like we're swimming in our own feces and our whatever. The main point here is we need to learn how Hawaii has been structured and set up by people not from here to create a system or a program that continues to suppress and oppress creativity and innovation. When you look at Kahului, you look at a lot of the abandoned vacant buildings. I've seen those buildings like that for the past 10, 20, if not 30 years of my life, looking the same way. Old Maui Mall, Wailuku Town Center, Queen K Mall. There's no improvements or innovation. You look at the renovations we've done in our public school system, the updates look exactly like how the building was when it was first built. Anyways, you get the point. One of the reasons why this colonial structure has been set up in Hawaii has been mostly part to do with sugar plantation camps. Sugar plantation camps, military occupation, and US cohorts and expansionist type ideas. Anyway, the sugarcane plantation camps has been the #1 trauma transferring camps in the US, starting for the Native Americans, actually even before that in the Prussians, and how they've helped set up the education system we have today, all the way to Hawaii. And we learned that in the next video. We separate our kids for 8 hours a day. We throw them to who knows who and what they're teaching, and they're in tiny box environments being assimilated, being given over their power, and also learning things that isn't going to be relevant for their future. It's like we're investing into past industries, the past industrial industries that are declining, that are corroding across the board in every institution, but we don't know how to prepare and gear up the next generation for the emerging global society, the emerging wave of what's happening in human connectiveness and consciousness. The problem with that is when you look at the environment, this is a great gauge to see where we're at. When you look at the environment, it's actually a mirror reflection of what's happening in our culture. When we look at our environment today, here in Kahului, we see declining, corroding, abandoned structures. And that's what we've done to our environment. When we look at the environment today, we look at our mauna and the water system and all the way down to the ocean. It's being diverted. Our culture is being diverted today, just like we do to the mauna. When we look at the environment, pesticides and chemicals is infiltrating and destroying topsoil. That's what we've been doing to our bodies with antibiotics and medication, so on and so forth. One of the main purpose is, if you don't get the ideas and the concepts of this, you're going to pass down subconsciously over and over and over again until your generation, until your lineage, until your family line gets erased out of human consciousness here in Hawaii. The reason, and part of the reason that you are here, is two things: to bring reciprocity. A lot of the indigenous cultures here has been stolen from, murdered, and taken advantage of by people not from this place, from the Caucasians, Christian missionaries, to the Japanese, Chinese, Portuguese, Filipinos. Part of the destruction of the indigenous cultures here in Hawaii has mostly, if not fully, a part to do with colonial settlerism and capitalism that came from sugar plantations. But instead of crying and whining and complaining about it, part of our generation, I'm a third generation Filipino American, is to bring reciprocity first to Aina, then that will flow into Kanaka Maoli. First to Aina, when the land heals, the people heals. So if you're ever questioning what your purpose, what your calling is, look at your lineage, look at your genealogy, look at your history. How are you contributing to the reciprocity, the reconciliation, the healing of that? So the ongoing, the righteous, the what is necessary needs to happen first. And it starts off with the inside flowing out. Where did I get off here? Hey. Hey, Bob, young Bob. Oh, got somebody calling me. Anyways, where was I? Oh, when we look at the environment, it's a direct reflection of the culture and what's happening here in Hawaii. A lot of the ways we've thought about how to update or create a better dream city, Kahului was known as Dream City, is we've just looked at the past. What is somebody else doing? And let's copy that. What is the politics of that place and how do we incorporate it into ourselves? There needs to be a whole new reset, a whole new wave of thinking that happens from our youth using indigenous knowledge with modern technology and creating something new. But because of suppression and oppression, mostly to do with institutions and ways that it was, the stubbornness of our thinking and also security issues because of the past few years, our unregulated safety issues, our body feels unsafe. So it wants to collapse. It wants to go back into safety. It wants to fight or flight. It wants to freeze. But even more than, as we're doing this political process, as I'm canvassing, as I'm talking to people, as I'm learning about what the true needs of the people are, starting with our elders, then going down to the youth, the number one thing is they need to come out of this mindset, this mentality of giving their power over to somebody, subjecting themselves over to somebody or something, and diverting their energy and resources, mostly their collective human heritage. We love to support people. But how do we support people? We support people by being who we are, where we are, and what is needed. Little tangent there. So, hey, long story short, we need to get out of the mentality that things are going to be as is. After COVID, the past 2 years, there's been a great reset. So we can choose to continue to stay on the same path that we were in the past or usher in the new emerging future. Right now, industries are declining, currencies are declining, industry is declining, jobs are declining, governance is declining. It's making room. The thing is, how are you making room for these things to happen? It starts off within yourself and it goes outward. So if you don't know what you're doing during this time, I encourage you to link up with somebody who can help increase your conscious level to be able to participate with this emerging Hawaii, this our Hawaii idea that it's land first and everything else comes from that. When the land heals, the people heal as a byproduct. So until next time, thanks for tuning in. Thanks guys for watching. We got a lot of phone calls and questions. Next video, we're gonna take all of the Q&A questions and we're going to answer them through a video, and then we'll have them all in one spot for you guys. So aloha.